So in this video, we're going to do a client success interview with a soccer coach out in Sioux City, Iowa. He started running his ads about 4 weeks ago, and today we're going to have him share his results. So make sure you stick on to the end of the video because as always, I'll have Michael here share her screen, show you the exact ads, all the ad accounts, all the stats, how much you spent on the ads, and all the behind the scenes. So Michael, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and break down exactly how many new clients you've been able to sign in the first 4 weeks of running that ad?
My name's Michael. I'm currently in Nebraska, kind of where Iowa is. I'm a little bit in the corner. My family is originally from California and Mexico. A little bit about me. Soccer's been a part of my life. I ended up playing pro in Mexico, playing second division over there. My background, I also graduated college with a bachelor's in psychology and a minor in business, and I currently signed 24 clients.
Wow. How much were you doing like before you joined the program?
Yeah, so fun fact, I wasn't really making much. I wasn't making anything at all because I never did individual trainings, apart from like team trainings from like the communities, like I'd volunteer and stuff, but coming to you, this was a whole new journey for me.
100%. How much are you doing now that you've had these, 24 new clients added on?
Currently making 4K a month.
Okay, well, nice. How does it feel knowing that the business is basically from 0 to 30 days, you're at 4K a month
Yeah,
consistently?
it's helped me a lot. It's helped me also grow as a player, as a coach. I love helping the community. I love helping the kids grow. I just like seeing their face whenever they
Yeah.
get the strategies, the methods correct, and it makes me feel like it's all worth it at the end of the day.
Yeah. What shifted for you that made you feel like, on our first call that it was the right time to really go all in on starting your private training business because you've never actually, had any like paying clients, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so at the time, I currently didn't, I was still looking for a job. I recently came back from Mexico from playing pro, and I was just scrolling and I was kind of talking to my friend about currently running private soccer lessons. And for some odd reason, you kind of popped up into the picture, and I was like, I kind of looked at your page. I did a little bit of research, and I kind of had to reflect on, whether I take that risk or not. I didn't want to stay the same. I wanted to do something different. I wanted to help the community. So I took that risk, and it changed my life.
100%, man. I guess, having seen one of our ads, like what really made you want to, use our service and want to even work with us in the first place? Like what was like the few key levers that were like, oh, you know what, these guys are actually good at what they do.
Yeah, I think the part of like the whole method, the whole strategy that you guys use, as well with like the template that you guys give us, also to that support that you guys bring into the table as well has really helped me be that person that I am, and helped me on the business side be successful and kind of help communicate with the parents or the players as well.
100%, bro. I guess before joining us, like what really stood out to you that made you feel like, you know what, I can trust these guys enough to like work with them? Like what was it, the videos you watched? Was it like some of the other case studies or was it like maybe the Instagram page itself?
I think it was the Instagram page itself. I really liked that you guys were really consistent in your guys' craft. Also too with getting with getting participants on board. I think that was really fascinating that you guys did really well on, as well with like the progress, you guys proven to me and to other players or coaches that it's possible that, these methods do work at the end of the day.
100%, bro. I think on our first call, you were a little hesitant, if I'm not mistaken. You were like, I don't know if I should do this. Maybe this is the right thing or the right time. I guess what were the conversations you've had in mind while we were on that first call together?
Yeah, so kind of going back to it at the time, I didn't really have a job. I was still looking for one, and I needed some assistance, I needed some guidance, and you kind of came into the picture. You gave me all the like the strategies, the methods, and kind of the tools for me to be successful. You know, you've even given me guidance on what to do, how to talk to clients, what methods to use, and that's really helped me.
100%. I guess, can you describe what that experience was like for you in the first few days after you joined our service?
Yeah, yeah. So that first interaction or that first week working with you, it's been nothing but just figuring out different methods, figuring out different strategies to use. Also with a lot of help from you guys of what works well in your community, what doesn't work well, what kind of videos you need to capture, what kind of methods to use.
I guess, like, how did it feel when you got your first, like, few leads on the very first day? I think you got your first few leads in the very first hour or something like that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it was honestly surprising because at first, I was like, are these ads really gonna work? Like, am I gonna attract the right people? And then not like I would say like 2 hours into the ads running, I got my first potential client and I was very excited for that.
How were the phone calls on your first few ones? Because I know you basically had zero experience with like the sales side of things. How did you feel on like the first few calls you jumped on? Were they smooth because of the process, or was it like still some nerves around like jumping on calls with people?
Yeah, I was a bit nervous, but at the same time, I was a bit confident because I did you know, from learning from your methods, your strategies, I do a lot of repetition on my own.
Yeah.
And I do have a history of like talking to people that I'm not familiar with. So like that kind of gave me an advantage too, which turned out smoothly for talking to those clients.
Yep, 100%. I guess, there's a lot of sports coaches who face resistance or like feel scared to run ads because A, they're not sure what they're doing, or B, they might be sure, but they're not like sure spending the money on doing it. I guess for you, did you have any of those feelings of like the hesitation between like turning those ads on?
At first I did, but in that meeting that we had, you gave down a breakdown of everything that I needed to know about those ads. Um, like how I told you before, I do a lot of just looking back at the videos, looking back at what to do. Some I do ask questions if I'm not sure, and you kind of gave me that reassurance. So
Yeah.
yeah, it ended up turning out smoothly.
On your first, I think that was the first week. How many clients do you think you signed that first week? Do you remember?
That first week, I signed about 8 clients.
How did that feel knowing like you went from basically zero to eight in the first 7 days?
It felt awesome. It felt awesome. I really started to believe in myself. I knew with everything that you've given me, with the tools, with the strategies, the methods, I really started to believe that I can reach even more.
I know there's like, soccer coaches stuck using like the flyers, the word of mouth. I guess how important is it for them to like get on Instagram and like really start running those ads?
Using social media, it really gives you a whole expansion of new clients
Dude,
because
100%.
these new clients that I've gotten, like I've never seen them like at a club on the locals, so like it really gives you a different perspective. So
That there's a lot more than what meets the eye in terms of like
yeah,
the look. And just to zoom in on that, because I think it's very important that people know, you're probably one of our only clients who's in like the smallest area you can possibly imagine. There's like 30,000 total population size, and yet your ads are still crushing it. Can you zoom into like how important was it to like, get that process up and running? Because I know you were like saying, oh, I'm in a really small town. Like, what if this doesn't work for me? Like, that was some of your concerns on the first call, right?
yeah, yeah. It was crazy. It was crazy because how I told you, like I'm in a small town. I feel like not a lot of people are gonna, you know, take me seriously for doing this, doing something different. But, I just had to take that risk. I had to trust in myself. I had to trust on what I like to do. And it ended up turning out smoothly.
Yeah,
So
100%, bro. Why don't you go ahead, share your screen, and then let's zoom into like the ad data so that people behind the scenes can see it as well, just to
yeah.
see yeah, like, how much you spend and stuff.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. So let's see. So January 1st to January 30th, so exactly 4 weeks, you got 50 total leads. So 50 messaging conversations started. You reached about 8,500 people. And then if you can scroll over a little bit, your cost per lead was a little bit higher, so about $9 because you were in a smaller town, but you still got a ton of leads. And then keep going to the right. Let's see what your total spent. Okay, you spent about 450 bucks on the last 30 days of running ads to sign about 24 clients. So do you think, because like there's a lot of coaches who see that big number, they're like, I can't believe Michael spent $450 on the ads. Do you think that was worth it? And can you explain to the coaches why it was worth it?
I think it was worth it because coming from a small town, yeah, it was a bit harder, but it also brought out new clients that you weren't familiar with in the soccer community. It also brought out other clients that,
Hmm.
really wanted to improve their soccer game. And I believe at the end of the day, if you put in that effort, you'll receive that effort back. So, that those 24 clients that believed in me and my methods and my practices, really turned out the way I wanted it to be.
Yeah. Do you feel like, investing $450 on the ads was worth the 4K in potential income?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Because like the reason I ask because most coaches are like, I can't believe you guys have to spend $15 a day and it's $400 a month, but they don't see the fact that if you just sign one client, that one client you sign covers your ad spend, and the other 23 clients are basically free because the one client who you signed at the beginning of the week keep covering your ad spend week after week, right?
Yeah. And also too, you're making that profit back, so you're able to either invest in, what you like to do, or you can invest in your business and even grow even more.
How important was it for you to be a good coach and actually deliver good results for these clients?
I believe it's very important to be a good coach because you're able to give like those methods, those strategies to the potential generation, and um, just the fact that you see those results happening, really makes you believe like, yeah, I can be that, best coach in Siouxland.
Yeah, 100%, bro. Why don't you go ahead and actually stop sharing your screen? And then I want to ask you a few more questions before we jump off. So I guess having been on the other side, what would you tell someone who's completely new to the Instagram world, completely new to the running their ads and the whole shebang?
So I would say, you know, take the risk, you know, do your research, and don't stop, keep on going, because only you can stop yourself, I remember I got told this by a client one time. You're the creator of your own reality. What you do today can affect you in the future, whether good or bad, so it's only up to you whether you want to proceed in life or if you want to stay the same.
Having to look back on the last 30 days, do you regret making that, huge investment in yourself to work with us? Or do you feel like it was justified in terms of like the value you got and also the tangible results you've been able to accomplish?
No, I don't regret any decision that I make. I definitely enjoyed the process. I mean, of course there was a lot of ups and downs, but I just had to keep my head high, and keep on believing on the process. And at the end of the day, you know, I like what I like doing. I love coaching the kids. It makes me feel great. It makes me feel alive. And at the end of the day, I don't think it was a loss for me. I think
Yeah,
it's only the beginning.
100%. I guess for anyone who's on the fence about, working with us, what would you tell them having, seen the first 30 days of the process?
I would say, come join the team. There's a lot of great people. There's a lot of, help, and you won't fail in this process. You'll keep on growing, you'll keep on learning, and, you'll reach new heights.
Yeah. Now that your ads are cranking and you're getting in tons of clients, I guess for you, what's the long-term vision look like with the private training side?
Yeah, so thinking long term, I still want to keep going at it, keep wanting to invest in the business side potentially, once I reach a certain number, I want to help more coaches kind of join the program and kind of help them see what they can do so they're able to help me out as well.
Gotcha, makes sense. Are you looking to like, I guess, getting your first assistant coach anytime soon, or do you feel like at the current rate you're at, you can most likely handle like the first 24 on your own?
I believe as of right now, I can handle the first 24 on my own, but potentially, as I get further into the year, I do want to start, hiring other people so I'm able to help them in their coaching experience and also help me as well.
100%, bro. I guess before we jump off, any final thoughts, any final things you want to say to the viewers who might be watching this video on their private training business or you experience the ups and downs that you've had working with us? Feel free to like even talk about the downs as well, because like I think it's very important nowadays that you see the transparent side. I guess what were some of those downs and what were some of those ups that you had, in the first few days, first few weeks of working with us?
Yeah, I guess like the only downfall, at least for me, was just not reaching out. If you feel stuck on something, don't hesitate to reach out. The team is always here to help, always here to assist you in whatever you need, and that's something that I should work on myself, just so I'm able to get that reinsurance. Because I mean, running a business, having to handle 24 clients, it takes a toll on your mental and your physical. So yeah, asking for help for sure.
Do you feel like it was because like you're more of like because I can tell in our first call you were like a very like a self-starter person. You're like, I can figure things out on my own. And I'm like, dude, you're here for a reason. Feel free to like use us. Like that's what you paid for. I guess is that the biggest thing that was like holding you back from like asking for like more consistent help?
Yeah, because usually I'm the type of person that kind of how you said likes to do it on my own.
Yeah.
But when I get stuck or when I feel like things aren't going my way, I kind of just center myself. So yeah, for sure. Just being more open-minded, asking for help, and don't be afraid.
100%. Because I feel like during that last 30 days, I was basically the one reaching out to you almost every single day or every other day. And I wouldn't get anything back unless I asked, hey, bro, like, is everything okay? Are you okay? Are you doing well? Is there anything that you need help with? And then you would like open up, be like, oh, okay, I'm struggling with this thing. Can you please help me? I'm like, dude, just tell me. We could have solved this problem 3 days ago.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was one thing that I struggled with a lot, but you live and you learn.
100%. Dude, so well said. And I appreciate you, being on here. And I want to just, appreciate you for A, having the balls to go all in on yourself, and B, for actually doing the work because, there might be people watching this video thinking like it was just overnight for you. But I saw every single up and down that you went through personally to be able to like, build this thing to 24 clients, and it doesn't happen overnight. So for all the viewers, like I just want to let you guys know that it doesn't happen overnight because Michael did the reps and like the countless reps that I personally didn't see of him like practicing his script, practicing the messages, practicing the phone calls that I'm sure you did, behind the scenes as well, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It
Dude,
was definitely a process, but it was all worth it at the end of the day.
100%. Any final thoughts that you want to leave the viewers before we jump off? I want to make sure I respect your time as well.
No, other than that, I thank you for everything. If you're a coach out there that needs, assistance or needs help, feel free to reach out this guy right here because he's helped me become a better coach for sure.
Dude, so well said. I'm going to leave it at that. If you are a private sports coach watching this video and you want more help, feel free to click that first link in the description below to book a call with our team to see how we can potentially help you do the same. And Michael, as always, I appreciate you for being on here and I appreciate you for all the results you've been able to achieve with us.